Damn the BBFC! They have just rated Shutter Island, the film directed by Martin Scorsese and starring Leonardo DiCaprio as a 15. I'm 13. I won't be able to see this film in cinemas. I'll have to wait until it comes out on home media. Fast forward 4 months, and it's my birthday. I've just turned 14. One of my gifts is Shutter Island on DVD. I can't wait to see it. It's the first of my gifts I watch. I'm excited. I loved The Aviator. I loved The Departed. It was the first time I'd ever heard the word cunt.
It would be cunts. You calling us cunts?
Scorsese was a genius to me. DiCaprio, an icon. Shutter Island was going to be one of the best films I ever saw. And I hated it. I really hated it. One of the first things I immediately disliked about the film was the green screen. My god, it was so off-putting on the boat, in the car, on the rocks. I hated the CGI. But I realised that wasn't part of the story. It may not look the best, but at least the story will be good, I thought to myself. But it wasn't. Everything about the film was frustrating to me. All the red herrings, all the imagery that wasn't really leading anywhere, the continuous build-up of tension that never seemed to advance the plot. I thought it was well shot. I thought it was directed well. But my first viewing of Shutter Island was one of the most annoying film experiences I ever had. But still, I stuck with it. Worked my way through, clawed my way through this unpleasant, infuriating film experience. The ending, I thought, the ending will make everything better. They'll reveal the big secret, the big truth, unravel the giant conspiracy. The weight, the anxiety, the annoyance, the maddening, irksome plot will be deciphered. And it was, at the time, the most deflating, stupid, idiotic, backstabbing, belittling, disappointing ending to a film I had ever seen. Spoilers ahead now, be warned. To reveal that everything that Leonardo DiCaprio had gone through for the entire film was a figment of his imagination, his false perception of the world, a twisted memory, was completely deflating. I felt cheated, used. I thought Scorsese had made the worst film of his career, and I couldn't stop wondering why on earth my precious Mr. DiCaprio, a man I admired so much for his work and choice of projects, had decided to do something so abysmal. And there the story ended. For about 8 years. I'm 22 now. Time to grow up. It's time I sort out my home media collection. It's getting out of hand. I need to organise by alphabet now. It's no longer practical to keep it as it is. What should I find amongst the clutter? Shutter Island. Unplayed since I last saw it. Over that time away, I've had more cinematic journeys and experiences. I've grown, I've matured. But I couldn't bring myself to watch the film. I despised it so much at the time, it still lingered in my mind how much I fucking hated that film. But it still intrigued me. The film fan in me wouldn't let myself rest in peace if I didn't at least attempt to see it again with fresh, older eyes. So, a couple of weeks later, I found some time and fired up the old DVD player. 2.5 hours later, I cursed 8 years of my life. For 8 years, I thought I had seen one of the crappiest films ever made. For 8 years, I held a grudge that clung onto my mind, despite all the great projects Mr. DiCaprio and Mr. Scorsese had made in all that time. Only now did I realise what I had done. I hadn't given the film its compulsory second viewing. I went into Shutter Island not knowing anything. I avoided trailers, ads and even the poster, and I was left disappointed. But because I was so hyped for the film when it first came out, that feeling by the end of it of being let down brought me down completely. I wasn't ready, willing or able to give it another chance. But that is what Shutter Island needs. Another chance. 2 viewings at a minimum. That first viewing, I was looking for a coherent plot, an unravelling conspiracy, excitement and thrills. And because the story is so unconventional, I didn't get that. My second viewing, I understood what the film was doing. Because I knew the ending and the truth of the story, only now, watching again, could I understand that Shutter Island is meant to be an exploration in perspective. Everything in this film is told through the eyes of Teddy, Leonardo DiCaprio's character. Only when you understand that Teddy is actually a patient on Shutter Island do you understand the storytelling. And I believe it is the only way to fully appreciate Martin Scorsese's directing of the film. The plot is only really meant to make sense inside Teddy's head, the head of a mentally ill individual unable to distinguish between reality and the paranoid fantasy in his mind. Scorsese's use of camera and lighting and sound design just seems to have so much more significance when you understand it's being viewed and experienced by Teddy. Certain lines of dialogues and scenes that seemed unnecessary on my first viewing proved to be captivating and essential on my second viewing.
So you were there, was there a doctor present?
Yes, Dr. Sheehan led the discussion.
Dr. Sheehan?
Yes, he was running the session.
There's just this. Can my violence conquer yours?
Not violent.
Yes, you are.
You know, I've built something valuable here, and valuable things have a way of being misunderstood in their own time. Everyone wants a quick fix. They always have. I'm trying to do something that people, yourself included, don't understand, and I'm not going to give up without a fight.
Only through this second viewing did I appreciate and understand Shutter Island. Unfortunately, it's a lesson which didn't sink in until it was too late. Some films require a second viewing to be able to acknowledge what the film is actually about. First time I saw Goodfellas, I thought it was boring. After the second time, it literally became one of my favourite films ever. Fight Club was the same. Fargo, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Tenet, Interstellar, Apocalypse Now, Raging Bull, Jackie Brown, Platoon, The Big Lebowski. All of these films proved underwhelming to me when I first saw them. It was only until after I saw them again could I understand what I had missed the first time around. Perhaps top of this list is Shutter Island. Very few films in history, I argue, benefit greater from a second viewing than Shutter Island, because if you see it for a second time, it will literally change your perspective. Just as any good film will inevitably do. Thanks for watching.
You calling us cunts?